Kelowna townhome listings are hitting record highs right now. So what's keeping prices from crashing? So far, 2025 is shaping out to be a turning point for the Kelowna townhome market. Listings are flooding in, but despite the surge in supply, prices haven't followed the script. In this update, I'll break down the latest numbers for the townhome market here in the Kelowna area and see if we can figure out if this is the calm before the buying storm, or are prices set to drop with the rising inventory? Well, let's see what's going on here. So this is again the townhome market, end of March 2025 numbers here. Starting with sales, we had 61 sales for March, and that's virtually the same as it was last year. That's what these numbers represent. Listings, we're sitting at pretty well record highs right now, pretty close. We're at 14% over last year, and even last year's numbers were high as well. And the benchmark price, we're sitting at $750,000 for your typical townhome here in Kelowna. And at the end of the video, I'll show you my deal of the month, one that I've picked. It's around this price. See what you can get for that here in Kelowna. And prices are pretty well the same as they were last year, just up couple percent there. Now the average days to sell a townhome here in the Kelowna area is sitting at 53, which is relatively low. It is 15% more than last year, but even still, it's lower than the overall market here in Kelowna. And the real days to sell, where I go through all the listings to see which listings were relisted and then put back on the market, say at a new price. There weren't a lot of those in the townhome market. It was nice to see. Easy for me to go through all those listings. And even with those relisted properties, it only worked out to, on average, 55 days to sell. So it's around 2 months to sell your townhome right now, which is great news if you're looking to sell. Now the list to sale ratio is sitting at 98% right now. So you, say if you are a seller, you and the buyer are negotiating on average around 2% off the list price. So that's great news. That's higher than the condo market, higher than the single family home market, and certainly higher than the market overall. Now, months of inventory, this is the number that tells us whether we're in a seller's market, balanced market, or a buyer's market. Right now, we're sitting at 7 months of inventory, which essentially means that if there was no other listings at the end of March, it would take, in theory, around 7 months to sell off all of that inventory. So that does tell us we are in a buyer's market. If we were in a seller's market, we'd probably be at 2 to 3 months of inventory, and then balanced is 4 to 6. So yeah, we are sitting in a buyer's market, but it's leaning towards a balanced market, as last month we were at 9 months of inventory. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in April if more and more listings hit, and then this number could jump and be even further into a buyer's market. And the absorption rate, this tells us what percent of homes are selling in a given month. Right now we're sitting at 14, which tells us we are in a buyer's market. So 14 out of 100 homes, let's say, or 61 out of 423. That's how it's calculated there. And for context, if we were in a seller's market, this number would be closer to 20%. So again, we are higher than single family homes and condos, which are around 10 or 11%. Now, if you have any questions about the Kelowna real estate market, feel free to shoot me a text message or give me a call to the number on the screen if you're looking to buy, sell, or you just want general information. Or if you prefer email or to book a formal appointment, you can do that down below in the description. Now let's carry on to the townhome pricing as of the end of March 2025. Before we do that, if you are getting any value out of this video and you want to stay updated on the Kelowna real estate market, simply hit that subscribe button and YouTube will notify you when the next video drops. All right, so let's start with 5 years ago, March 2020, when townhome prices were about $225,000 less. They were sitting at $524,000. Then between March 2020 and March 2022, which is when the peak of the market, prices rose 60% during that time. And then since the peak of the market to today, they've only dropped about 10% since then. And again, the typical townhome here is sitting at $750,000. Now, we obviously haven't reached back to the peak, so we are sitting between December and January 2022 pricing. And the bottom of the market was actually last year. We did see a huge drop here once interest rates rose in 2022. We did see a huge drop. That was a 1 month drop there. But the actual bottom of the market was last year in January, sitting at just over $700,000. Now, if we go back 5 years, take this green line down back to March 2020, 5 years ago, again, your typical townhome was around $525,000. That's a 43% increase or more, depending on when you bought. If you bought before this date, it could be more than that. Or it could be less, depending on the area. It always depends. But on average, or according to the benchmark price, you're up about 43%. Now on to the fun part, the deal of the month. So this is just a listing I pick based on something I think is a good deal right now. So this is in Glenmore, 307 Glen Park Drive. Isn't my listing, full disclosure. This is just a listing I came across that I, again, thought it was a good deal. 307 Glen Park Drive, number 29. So we'll just hop into the listing here. So this is the listing here. This is taken from KelownaHomes.com, which is our team's website. So if you do sign up on KelownaHomes.com or click on the link in the description below, you can sign up there and I will be your agent of contact. So if you're new to the area or you're thinking about making a move or you just want to browse listings, feel free to click that link in the description. Now for this listing, again, 307 Glen Park Drive, unit number 29. This is in Kelowna's Glenmore neighborhood. So a very family-friendly neighborhood. Lots of parks nearby, schools nearby, shoppings. Glenmore's a great area. This home here is 4 beds, 2.5 bath, about 1,440 square feet. And it was built in 2022. So if you're looking for something more turnkey, newer, this might be the one for you. And the price is around that benchmark price of $759,000. And the monthly fees for this is quite low, is $209 per month for the strata fee. And to give you more context for the area, it's located again in Glenmore. So if we click, just expand it a bit so you can see downtown if you're more familiar with downtown. And then we zoom back into Glenmore. So you're sitting here, Valley Road and Glenmore Road. Those are the two main roads in Glenmore. And then if we zoom in a bit more, so right across the street, there's the soccer fields. There's going to be a big, I think there's going to be skateboard parks and more fields here. And then there's a dog park on this side as well. And then if you are a student, like a university student, or you have kids that are university students that are living with you, the university is literally just down the road as well. Take Glenmore Road, John Hindle, and you're there. You don't have to worry about even hitting the highway at all. And if you have younger kids, there are elementary schools, and Dr. Knox Middle School is a couple blocks away as well. So in my opinion, a great modern listing. If you're looking again for something turnkey, has enough room for the whole family, close to shopping, basically in the middle of the city in Glenmore. It's close to everything, schools, recreation, everything. So it's a great one. Check it out. If you want to go to our website, KelownaHomes.com, if you want to register there, or click on my link in the description if you want me to be your representative for the website. And if you want to search this listing specifically, the MLS number is right there, and that's all you have to search. Now, if you are new to the Kelowna area, or you're thinking about making a move here and you're wondering what is the cost of living in Kelowna outside of real estate, what else is there? Check out this video right here.